Morning, everybody. I'm just getting started here. Going to go in a couple of minutes. It looks like all of my feeds are looking good this morning, so that's good. Had a bit of a problem earlier in the week. I couldn't get it out to Twitch. I'm not sure exactly what the problem was, but we're going to hope that everything goes smooth this morning. Just giving everything a minute to spin up and stabilize, and we're looking good so far. Excellent on the stream health, which is always nice. If you're hanging out, waiting for things to start, please go ahead and say hi in the chat. I'm going to be monitoring that as we go and saying hi to anybody who's out there. Morning, everybody. It's me, Michael. I'm just getting everything started. Of course, I'm running my video a bit too hot right now. Let's try changing my settings just a little bit. See what we can do to hopefully get some of that lag out of this. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my okay, I can't. So, well, we're going to hope that it's not too terribly laggy. If it's laggy, give me a shout out in the chat. That's what I'm trying to figure out today and get my troubleshooting done. Like I said, I had a issue with this earlier in the week, and I'm going to try and figure out what's going on exactly. I was just lagging out way too bad, and I'm going to be playing some video here in a little bit, so it'll probably get even worse. If you can hear me, I know the audio comes through pretty good, so I'm going to hope that sticks. But if the video is not looking good, let me know. I'd appreciate it. My name is Michael. Welcome. I stream 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I've been streaming now since the beginning of quarantine. I jumped on to help my church get the Sunday services out, and I've been streaming strong since then. I've been helping with everything from movie nights with friends to huge meetings with hundreds of people, and I've actually done a couple with thousands, and I helped out on those. And those you can't necessarily do by yourself. You need help with those. So definitely had some help, but I'm out here now on my own show, and I'm trying my best to show you a lot of the things that I use to stream, to create video, to work in this new video first world that we all kind of got tossed into way back when. And we're here to stay for the most part. This is going to be a huge step forward for us, I think. We kind of got tossed a good 10 years into the future by some estimates, and it's been a big change for a lot of us. So I'm hoping that my video's coming through, or my audio's coming through all good. But if you didn't hear me, I'm getting started with, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start with my first step in when I do editing, and that's to review what I've recorded. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play a recording that I did earlier that I haven't posted yet, and kind of go through that, hopefully look at how my media player is responding, and then maybe take some time to just play it a little bit and take some notes on how I thought the stream went, things that I might want to change, and then any other ideas I might come up with. It's always for me, it's always a good thing. I like, unless I'm absolutely sure the stream went perfectly or there's no way I can edit it, I like to review it and then cut out anything that is egregious. I've cleared my throat and I sneezed one time, and so it's really just there's so many things that can kind of go sideways when you're live. For me right now, I think that I'm kind of maxing out my system is probably why my video's not coming across as best as it might if I were. Yeah, it's looking pretty laggy. If you're on Twitch, hopefully I'll be putting up the recording of this later on, and you can check it out. Make sure I'm recording. That's one thing I'm on edge sometimes because I've forgotten one time to record one of my streams. So I'm always going to be one off. I'll have 7 streams done, and I'll only have recorded 6. So that's kind of one of my pet peeves right now. So I'm trying to make sure I get all my recordings solid and recorded. So. All right, so let's get started. It looks like everything's going to be going as well as it can for right now. If I run into anything, I'll troubleshoot it. But so my name is Michael. I've been out here streaming for quite some time. I've been working on Twitch, doing my own personal streams now for just about 2 months. So started at the beginning of November, and have been going just 3 times a week ever since then. So if you are catching me live, I appreciate it. Leave me a message in the chat. I'm going to be putting my chat up here in a bit, so hopefully we can see if we get anybody chatting back saying hi. And if not, if you're checking me out in the future, thank you so much. I'm hoping that you will get something educational out of this, even though sometimes things go a little, one of the drawbacks of going live is it's not always perfect. So let's get started. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to be bringing up my video player. And there's lots of video players out there, but I use VLC media player. It's an open source piece of software, and it's pretty cool. I like it. It integrates well with other programs, and so what I'm going to try and do is make sure that I'm getting audio from my desktop so that you can hear that video. That's another audio setting that I have to go through. So if I take some time, I'm not exactly talking the whole time. I'll try and narrate as best as possible. But I'm going to be checking audio and that type of thing. So this is a video that I did on the 18th excuse me, of November. And it was one of my first showing of all the different things you might need, all the different windows and types of documents and things like that you might be needing when you're running a stream. And there's a lot. Now you can thin it down to absolute minimum, your broadcasting software, if you're using Zoom, a few documents, that type of thing. But the more people you work with, the more more variety of sources and things that you have to take into account can get to be pretty big. So I started off with just a huge list that I demonstrated. So I'm going to play some of that now, and we are going to hope, anyway, that it comes up. So let's get the player open. Alright, there's my media player, and I just did a window capture of this. I've got it open in another, and here we go, get me out of the way. I have this open in another window, captured that with OBS, and I already ran into a problem with this. And when I put this up, I was only getting a black screen. It would show the window player, the media player, but it wasn't showing the actual video itself. So I went into the OBS source, which was the window source, and changed the capture method from automatic to Windows. And so that was my first step. And then I also went into the settings with VLC, in the video settings in there, and changed the output to Windows GDI, which a quick Google search, which Google's your friend. It really is. You can find anything on there, and when you're stuck or when you're just any reason, Google the problem and see what you come up with. And that research is a skill in and of itself, but it was quick enough to troubleshoot, and those were two things: my video output settings on VLC, and then the capture method on my OBS source, which is the software, Open Broadcaster software, which is what I'm using to put all this together and make it look all cool. So we're going to hope that works. I'm going to need to make sure that I allow my desktop audio. So if my audio is changed, I'm going to monitor that here in a second when I get this playing. So VLC. Great piece of software, pretty basic interface. That's one of the things I like about it. It's not it doesn't have a huge number of buttons and different things, but you can see that in another. You can put together playlists in this. You can play directly from a website. URL, you can plug that in there and play directly from there. So there's all sorts of ways you can add to this that make things very easy. With Zoom, when I first started using Zoom, one of the things we would do would be to pull up like a YouTube page, play that full screen, and then share that. And then with VLC, we can plug that directly into the media player, and then maybe share the media player. So there's all sorts of ways around, or all sorts of ways to go ahead and get your scenes put together and your audio and your video out. And it's a matter of finding one that's comfortable for you, something that works for you. So practice, learn. Google for sure. Use Google. So it looks like everything's going pretty good. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to play this now. This is just me, so it's not anything too terribly fancy. But we're going to go ahead and get that started and see how well it plays. And there I am.
Let's see here. This is
okay. I've got audio coming from a couple of different places, so that's good.
So it looks like
and I've got problems with Twitch again. If you're out on Twitch and this isn't loading for you, I apologize.
And it just loads. A wild ride. I've learned all sorts of stuff. So my name is Michael.
This loads. Maybe not.
My stream. Welcome. Today I'm gonna go over some planning stuff if you're running a big meeting or any meeting.
Choppy, really choppy. So
stuff you're gonna run into.
Okay, so this is an issue, same issue that I had earlier, which was that my video to Twitch was coming out really choppy. So if you're on one of the other platforms, YouTube seemed to be going pretty well. I'm going to mute that audio so that you're not getting my double voice. And I'll pause that for just a second. Let's see if that makes a difference. Pause that and see if Twitch changes. Twitch is just still pretty choppy. It's clearing up a little bit. Maybe that's the issue. I've got too many video on video on video. That might be the problem. And and it's frozen. Oh, a little bit better. Yeah, I think I've got too much video going on. I'll probably have to offload some of those processes off either onto a different computer or maybe to my graphics processor to see that's a little bit more involved. That's nothing I'm going to get to right now. Just joining me, my name's Michael, and I'm trying to figure out how to make my stream work. That's kind of where I'm at today, is making things work. Christmas Eve, and so I wear my Christmas Eve colors today for you. I know that there's a lot of streamers out there working today, getting ready to go. So if you're working today and this is a working day for you, big respect. I know that there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on in the world, and to have you out here getting your message out is just a fantastic thing. So I appreciate that, and I'm going to be going out again myself this evening, helping my church go out, put out a couple of services. So I know that a lot of the religious community is really, really busy today. So if you're out there, you're getting ready, you're putting together what you're doing, respect. So, yeah, it looks like Twitch has kind of calmed down that I'm not playing this, but I'm gonna actually turn my video off. We'll just share the, let's try that. We will share. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off. I'm still here, but I'm gonna turn my video off for a second. And I'm going to take my Windows player and make that big. So we'll see what difference this makes. See if that makes any difference whatsoever. Wait, I'm just waiting for this to come up on Twitch. Okay, so now I'm frozen, and I'm going to play that again. And I'm playing. I'm going to open up my desktop audio.
Let's see, where are we at? So yeah, this is about my 6th or 7th stream, I think. I've been having a good time with it, and in the last couple of weeks I've been spending a lot of time just working on getting my workflow. So now I'm frozen.
You're going to have double audio.
I don't know if those streams have been entertaining or not. I try to throw in a joke here or there, but you never know if they're actually any funny or not. So still pretty early here in the Pacific Northwest, 10 o'clock in the morning. So welcome. Hello internet, hello world, hello. All right, so I've got a great term for you to go ahead and Google at any time. Supersaturation. Chemistry term for sure, but it is when you are, in this context, it's when you're absolutely flooded with your information that you're working on. All the different windows are open, all the things you need to take.
Okay, that seemed to go a little bit better. The Twitch stream seems to have settled down a little bit. So I am going to make sure I've got all of my, I had multiple audios going on. So yeah, when I open my stream, what I do is I open up all my different platforms and double check that I've got the audio and the video going. But in this case, I sometimes forget to shut those down. So if I had a moderator, my moderator would be in charge of that. And that would be something I wouldn't have that cross chatter going on. But in this case, I'm all by myself today. And so that's one of those things. So if you were watching on Twitch and you got the audio was multiple audios, then what you're going to see, what you would have definitely heard that. So let's see what we got going on. All right. And it looks like not too bad. Okay, still going pretty good on the stream. I'm hoping that now we're going to play this and we're going to see how well that comes across again. So this again was me from November, it looks like 18th, and I was talking about a whole bunch of different windows and things that you can use. So play this. I'm going to monitor for a second. Enjoy this. I hope that it isn't terrible. It was one of my first few streams, so it was a little rough, to say the least. So let's. I'm going to take a listen to this and kind of just monitor some of my different things. If you're out there in the chat, let me know you're here. Say hi. Leave a message, and I'll be putting my chat up here in a bit if we start getting some interaction on there. So that would be kind of fun. I'm going to put up, actually, first, I want to add no, not that chat. I want to okay. I'm going to go ahead and play this and monitor for a few seconds. So,
into consideration, and when I switch over and show you all of the things that you're going to be taking into account, it sort of really demonstrates why it's a really good idea to have a helper of some sort. If you're given the presentation, you're the speaker for the meeting that you're doing. Having somebody who can handle all of the behind the scenes stuff, and that's the stuff I like. I'm usually the guy behind the scenes. I've said on here before that I'm really not all that used to being the one doing the speaking, even though I'm relatively okay at it. So if I need to clear my throat or I need to sneeze, that was a good one. I had to sneeze, and I didn't clear my mic, or didn't mute my mic, so Mike didn't mute the mic. Even though I'm relatively. That's what happened. And I'm sure that whoever was listening on headphones did not appreciate it because it was loud. So, all right, I think I have everything open. I actually spent a good probably 45 minutes this morning getting everything just open. I'm sure I missed something, so if I have to take a minute and find something or whatever, I appreciate your patience. All right, so I'm going to switch over and we're going to get started here. What I've done is I've opened literally everything that I use on a normal basis. And because computers are computers and the internet's the internet, you've got, a whole range of different brands of software or just a variety of different things. There's multiple types of media players, there's multiple types of Word documents. So when you're working with a group of people, you might have Microsoft products open, you might have Google products open, you might have whatever they call it on Macs, so it can really be overwhelming, and that's why I say super saturation. I've seen it a number of times where a new technician they'll just be drowning in Windows, and you can't find what you're looking for. And so hopefully this will be a pretty decent demonstration of why that happens. And it's unavoidable. I do it. I've been like this morning. It took me, like I said, a good 45 minutes just to pull everything up. And I organized it a little bit. I wanted to go through and just scramble all of those windows so that it was, really overwhelming for you, whoever's watching out there, on the internet, here on Twitch, or just lurking out there on the surface web of Twitch, just watching me. So I think this will be kind of fun, kind of overwhelming. For the most part, I don't have any content in these documents and stuff that I have open. There's not much need for it during this demonstration or during this little stream thing that I got going on. But this first one that I'm going to switch over to first is, I showed this on my last stream, and it's a scene list or a run of show list, depending on the what you're calling it or how detailed it is. And it'll give you an idea of all of the things that are going to be happening in a meeting. So if you get lost, a scene list is a really good thing to be able to reference. So let's start there, and let me get one thing out of the way real quick. Just put that over there. Joe, I just put you out of the way if you're watching. So I'll bring it in a second if I get to it. Let's see. All right, we're going to switch over to my main screen. That's me. That's me. I'm up there. You can see me. So if you get worried that I disappeared, you can see me doing, hand whatever. So I'm there. But anyway, for right now, this is a scene list, and this is for a relatively large meeting. Use it for showing who's going to be spotlighted, where the shares are, your videos, what the order of things are way over here on the left-hand side here. You can see this whole, this is the list of things that are going to be happening in this particular meeting. And so again, this is just a template. This is just something that I come back and I'll fill in if I'm running a meeting, and then whoever is hosting the meeting can refer to this as well. So, okay, get ready, because this is the big one. Behind this, I've got a whole bunch of things open. And at first glance, it's going to be just wow, just wow. So as I talk through them, as far as what they are, I'm going to start minimizing and restoring down and resizing things. And hopefully by the end of this, what I'll do is I will get to a point where you've really got a manageable screen with a Zoom meeting open and then some of your reference pieces on the top of it. So if you're ready, go ahead and leave me a message in the chat so that I can know that you're ready to go with this. So we're going to get a countdown here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, that is a whole bunch of open windows. And I didn't even open my task manager to monitor what's going on with my computer. So if I'm dropping frames, if I'm all clunky and my video feed is freezing up, then that's why. Because I don't know, here, just from what I can count here, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, at least 10 Google tabs open. And if you know anything about Google, Google it can take a real load on your system. So this is a lot of tabs. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get this back to something that is a little bit more manageable. But when you're going to do a meeting, there's a few things that you're going to want to have before the meeting. You're going to want to, you're going to need your email account open. You're going to want your Zoom account open. Any folders, for music or video or pictures, you're going to want to have all that open. And that's what I've got laid out here. So let me see, what was I looking for? Okay, so first of all, checklists. Checklists are a wonderful thing. I love checklists. Email account open. And so we'll just bring that one over to begin with here. Music, video, pictures. So checklist, as we're going here, so okay, resize. See, it's a little laggy because I've got so many things open. All right, but so this is a list of software that you might have open. This is a list of documents that you may have open. I'm going to have guest instructions, so I'm going to have all of those that I'm going to want to cover if I've got guests. And then all the different settings that I'm going to want to check beforehand. And then, you know, the live instructions for my audience. Here, let me zoom that open a little bit more so that you can see it. Don't want to add a sheet. We're going to open this a little bit bigger, so let's just go to 200%. So yeah, that's a little bit better. You're going to be taking into account all the main functions for Zoom. So I mean, this is just, you know, just this basic checklist of things you're going to want to do beforehand can get pretty big pretty quickly. But if you split it up, you organize it, you know how to manipulate your windows and organize them a little bit to make your life a little bit easier. It will really help. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Don't get worried, it's still here. But I'm going to start, hopefully progressively, unloading some of this off my system so that I can actually open and get to my Zoom meeting. And I think somewhere I've got somebody in there waiting to see, actually bring them in and have an audience. You know, I do believe that they're watching on Twitch. We'll see. Haven't heard from them, but we'll see. So let's get rid of this. Let's just go ahead and close this. Actually, let's start with resizing. Resizing your windows. Grab it on the corner. You'll see your little back and forth arrow, and then you can move it around and make it a little bit bigger. And this is an important concept. It seems simple, but getting familiar with how to organize and move your windows around really can help with what you're doing. If you have everything on a full screen, you're going to be switching between one full screen, and it'll add a whole layer of complication to what you're doing. All right, so quick little word about resizing, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Now, what do we have here? We've got a million different Google tabs open, and I've got a whole bunch of Windows documents open as well, and they're actually redundant for the most part. I've got a scene list for Windows and a scene list for Google just because I'm going to have a mix of different types of different brands of software, and so as a demonstration, I just opened a whole bunch of different things. And you know, maybe just randomly you're going to throw in, you know, a text document, because why not? I've been using text documents a lot. I like those. But we're going to start running through these. Planning, preparation, and practice. That's what it comes down to. Plan your meeting, plan your event, prepare for it, and then practice what you're doing. So, like I said at the beginning, this took me about 45 minutes to open everything up, get all ready for my stream, get my stream ready, and that was just to get to the point so where I can turn my camera on and go live for my stream, not even for the event. I didn't have anybody to talk to, I didn't have any audience to worry about at the time. So those were things that, you know, I didn't have to deal with for today. But if I'm doing a meeting, doing an event, then those are things I'm going to be dealing with, as well as all these documents and everything else that's going on. So planning and preparation and practice are absolutely key, absolutely key. So planning documents, but you know, you can have these in any number of different ways. A Word document works perfectly fine. A great place to centralize a lot of things, you know, share it on the cloud, make it so that, you know, the folks that you're working with can access it. So in this case, let's see, a planning document, and I'm going to just open that a little bit, but you can see in here, you know, all right, everybody. I hope that was going not too bad. I cut the audio there for a second. So
we will see how that turns out. I'm going to shrink that up a bit and come right back to you. So yeah, I had a message from YouTube. I don't know if you saw that there for a second. Let me double check. I've got all my audio running. It was a short little message. I think it was a bad URL, somebody spamming. So I took a second to clear that. And you're going to run into that. If somebody puts stuff in your chat that you're not sure what it is, go ahead and clear it. Just because you don't necessarily want somebody posting links or something along those lines. That goes back to moderator discussion that I had this last stream that I did about how to deal with some of that. All right, and all right, just getting that out of the way for just a second. So yeah, it goes back to how to keep trolls out of your feed. It's a hazard of being out here on the internet, so you have to be prepared for it to some degree. It's not nice, but it is sort of the nature of some of the stuff that we do out here. So just be prepared for that. My name is Michael. I'm here working on troubleshooting my stream for the most part, but I'm also using my VLC media player, which you can see there. And I recorded this back at the first part of, towards the middle of November, and it was one of my first few streams, and it was just showing all of the different things that you might be using over the course of a stream or a Zoom meeting or something along those lines. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff. So that was a first go at showing all those different things. But then I go through and thin back to something more reasonable. Just, a few, like one document or a couple of documents, maybe a single spreadsheet, and then your most important programs, which is your broadcasting software and any media that you're playing, your video, an audio track, or slides. Those are a big thing. Those are the ones that you're always going to have open, that you're always going to be dealing with. So that's what that was. And my first step in editing, I go through and I watch it. I watch the whole thing and I make any kind of notes that I might want to make as far as, do I want to cut something out? Did I sneeze? Did I clear my throat? Did the dog bark in the background? Any of those things that I might want to clip out. And then also for the future, do I want to maybe redo the whole thing? Did I kind of trail off in some little whirlpool eddy of thought that wasn't maybe the best presentation? So this is the first step I would do. I'd be watching this. And so I figured that what I would do is I would watch this and then also show a little bit about how to use VLC Media Player, which is an open source piece of software. Very, very nice. You can incorporate it into just about everything else you're doing. And there's all sorts of, you can play directly from a URL source, you can make playlists in it, and it's just got a very nice interface. That's one of the things I really like about it, is it's got a nice interface. So that's what I was demonstrating there, showing that. I did have a problem when I started, and I was not able to, I could show the player, but I wasn't able to get the video feed across. It was just a blank black screen. So I went into the source settings, and I'm using OBS, so I went into the settings for the source of that, which was a window capture, and adjusted that so that it wasn't doing an automatic capture, it was doing a Windows capture. So that was the first thing I did, and that was a Google search very quickly to find out what was going on. Google is your friend. Google is good. Look for what put your question in there, and you can find some real quick help if you know how to sort through some of those results. And so that is something to get used to. If you're not used to using Google in that way to do a real quick search, I suggest it. So that's what I did. And then also I went into the video settings in VLC itself and changed the output to Windows GDI, I think is what it was. That was part of the search that I found, was something that can, and then it popped up and it was able to show. So that was my first troubleshooting. So this stream is as much as it's about VLC, it's more about troubleshooting. I had a big problem earlier in the week with my feed going to Twitch, was just all choppy, and it looked like it didn't come across good again. I think I'm overloading my my encoder quite a bit, so I'm going to have to distribute some of that workload so that my computer can put out a nice stream, put out something very high quality. So the recording of this will be nice, and I'll be posting that on my YouTube channel, which you can find a link to right there on my Twitch landing page, and then also from my website, michaelkayer.net, michael.net. You can find links to all my stuff there, and some of the showcase pieces that I do. There's a variety of things there, so you can check that out. So I hope you got an idea of one of the videos that I did. I don't have that posted yet, but my name is Michael, and I have been streaming since the beginning of quarantine. And I started by helping my church to get Sunday services out, and then I've been working doing that every week, and then also working with other streamers to moderate or to troubleshoot or to consult. What do you need to get your stream out there? And that's the majority of what my content is all the tools you're going to need, different considerations you're going to need. Right now I'm starting with all the basics. So media player, obviously one of those. Right now I'm using Restream to send out my stream to Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And I'm going to be sending it out to LinkedIn eventually. There's a few benchmarks you have to meet before you can be able to broadcast live to that. So these are the different tools you can use to get your stream out there, and that's what I try to showcase and show how I use them. You might use them differently, you might use different ones, but media player, that's a big that's a big one. And then a chat of some sort. I've got my camera reversed, so it's sort of disorienting, but. And then troubleshooting, that's a huge part of it. Once you've got all these different pieces thrown out there, then you're going to have to troubleshoot. So I go back consistently, settings. Find out where they're at so that even if you don't know what they all are, you can at least find them when you need them. And a quick Google search will tell you kind of generally where to go to look. And so that's sort of where I'm at with things. So far, so good on the stream. Once I kind of trimmed back and paused my video and took off my main... Oh, I should have turned my video off. Once I did that, the stream sort of stabilized a little bit. So if you're out there on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, leave me a message. Let me know how it's coming across. Let me know how it's looking so far. And if it's completely terrible... you can tune in later. I'll have the recording up to that on my YouTube archive, and you can watch it there. And if you're a future person who missed all of this completely just me making a mess of things, thank you for finding my videos, and I hope that you are able to gain something, at least a good example of how not to do things. I'm pretty good at that sometimes. Right now, I think I'm going to play a little bit more of this. I'm going to try and stop my video again on this, and then monitor again, go back to basically moderating my own stream of my own previous stream, which is a pre-recording, and so it gets complicated. it gets complicated. But I'm going to do that, double check again, and then come back in a few minutes. And whatever. I'm not going to try and even sort through that right now. To see how that looks. So if you're out there, I'm leaving the chat up, and say hi, and I'll add a little couple of comments as I go, so that you know I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And you can respond to any suggestions you may have. If you know there's too many things going on, or something that you know whatever you don't like, yeah, tell me. I'm up for suggestions and making adjustments. So we're going to go back at it, and I'm going to let that play for a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut my, let's see, I'm just going to deactivate that altogether and resize that a little bit bigger for you. And we're going to go ahead and play this. Now I'm going to cut my own mic, but I'm going to turn my desktop audio on, so you'll be able to hear. You might get a double audio coming in when I'm monitoring my different, my other platforms, and I need to find out how to isolate those away. So I'm going to put a little marker to remember to do that. How to isolate my audios so that I've only got the one feed going live, the one I want. So I'm going to switch over and let this play, and then I'll come back in a few and we'll wrap things up, okay? Enjoy. Contact everybody else. So some sort of common document to plan things will get you started, will get things organized, and then you can move on to all this other stuff. And many times you can get away with just the planning document if it's relatively simple, or you have a very talented team with you, possibly. I've worked with some very, very talented teams. This may be sufficient, but I always like to have these other documents as a backup. So guest instructions on here. This is where you could put that, the things that you're going to want to tell your audience, or you're going to want to have a reminder for what to tell your audience. So planning document. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Not that I don't need it, I'm just trying to get it out of the way. Same thing with Google. I got the same thing, and just a redundant copy, but in Google. Somebody's familiar with Google, this might be the way to go. You can put links to your Microsoft products or your Mac products, whatever it is, in here as well. So yeah, and as you can see, we're just getting started, right? Those were just the basic, first documents and tabs that you're going to use. So for the rest of this, I'm not going to go through these, but they're all good things to have. And I organize it by having an event template. All right, this is one folder where I can put everything, and you can see the full list of all these documents that I've got open. So I've got a music folder, I've got a picture folder, I've got all of the different documents that I'm going to be closing, hopefully, real quickly, in one folder. So a link to that single folder, whoever's working on it, bam, they've got everything, right? And so we're going to go ahead and close that. You've seen that. You know it exists. Yeah, that's the extent of that one. So I'm going to go ahead and move my text documents out of the way. I'll talk about that last one. I'm going to talk about that last. So again, scene list, an Excel spreadsheet, blank, just because I don't want to overwhelm everybody. You should be overwhelmed at this point. You should feel like you're getting to the point where you're overwhelmed or saturated, which is going back to my original term that I suggest Googling, which is supersaturation. All right, that's a chemistry term. So script, right? Script, Microsoft script. Let's see, picture slideshow. You're going to have you might be sharing slides, so you're going to have one of those open. Which is supersaturation. And again, more, script.
Order of events, this is the same as your scene list, or could be scene list. You know, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So order of events, scene list, inbox, you know, your email. You know, you're going to want to have your email open. You never know when you're going to have something in the middle of what you're doing, and somebody's going to want to get a hold of you. So this, again, this is just, you know, how many is that at this point? That's like, I don't know, we probably close to 20 possible documents that you could have open. So as I go through a meeting, if I get done with one of those documents or I don't need it, I close it. I don't want to have it open if I don't absolutely have to. So, we're getting some green behind there. That's my desktop. So we're starting to see a little bit of daylight, if you will. So things are starting to simplify a little bit. Now you can always stack your Google, you know, your browser tabs into the same window, and that can be helpful. But if you've got something like your slides up here, and this is a good one. This is one you might want to have, you know, all on its own, right? So you're going to be slides, especially. Those are something that are major parts of your meetings and everything. So having this as a separate tab that you can, you know, open up. Oh, this is another window, you know, presenter view. So you're going to have a whole other window to control, right? You'll be able to control your slideshow if you're going into presenter view. So that's another window, right? But hopefully after 22 minutes of me talking, and I've only got through the Word documents and the Google documents, you start to get the idea that there's a lot of stuff that you could potentially be dealing with in a meeting. So if you are planning, you're preparing, and you're practicing, you know, this is the stuff that you'll be dealing with. So again, I'm going to close this, get some space in here. All right, let's see, what else do I got? I've got, all right, on the list of things, you can start to see also why checklists are a good idea. I actually have one for myself for this. It's kind of basic, but there are a few things I wanted to make sure that I hit as we go here. Oh, and of course, I didn't say anything about, you know, checking the settings, the website. That's what I forgot. I'll have a tab open for my Zoom website. I'll go through my settings in there. That adds a whole other one. So whoever's been counting, if I've got, you know, an up-and-coming baby moderator out there, hopefully you've been counting how many windows I've got open, but it's been a lot so far. And I don't have on here, I'll bring this over, I don't have on here my Zoom, of course, my Zoom app. I've got that, you know, this is one of the ones that I'm gonna have open probably for the majority of my meeting, because this is a side asynchronous chat channel. I love using these. I absolutely love using these, and so I'm going to hopefully incorporate this somewhere into my actual workflow for my meeting. So this one's going to stay open. I'm just going to squish it for right now as much as I can. Move it over here out of the way. So the slides, we talked about those. You got a PowerPoint presentation. Everybody loves PowerPoint, so we're going to have one of those. And you also have your presenter mode in here. So, you know, again and again and again and again. I've got my Discord open, you know, another chat channel, another side communication that you can work with. Similar to your Zoom channels, but just a little bit more robust as far as you can have a number of different conversations going on. And where the Zoom channel, they're a little bit more clunky to switch between. So the Zoom channels, I generally use them for just a single conversation for behind the scenes for whoever's the hosts or the co-hosts of a meeting. So it's similar. It can be very handy, but it can also get to be pretty busy if you've got a lot of people contributing to it. So this is where a moderator would come in, be very helpful. Your moderator can either moderate your Twitch chat or your Discord chat or even your Zoom chat. So hopefully you don't have all three of those going at the same time. It can get pretty hectic. And I've just been using one screen up to this point because that's what a lot of people have. A lot of people only have a single screen that they have to use. So every inch of that screen is just very prime real estate, right? You're gonna need to use good chunks of it for your Zoom meeting, which I'm gonna bring up here in a minute and see if I can't bring in a friend of mine if they're still there, if I haven't completely bored them. And it looks like they joined. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and close Discord, which is rare. I have Discord open the majority of the time, but I don't need it right now. So when I get to opening my Zoom meeting, I'll have a few extra things not there, and I'm gonna quit Discord, not just close it, but I'm gonna actually quit it so that it's I know for a fact it's not taking up those resources. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop you down. So we're really getting cleared out. But what's left? A media player. You might have videos. You might have songs that you're going to play. So you're going to have a media player open most likely. This is VLC media player, open source, a wonderful little thing. You can hook your YouTube videos or hyperlinks right into it. It's a really neat little program. But again, another one. I think we're probably somewhere in the 30 things now. It's super saturation, like I've said. Very easy to get overwhelmed. But we're going to get rid of that. So let's see what's still open here. Oh, almost forgot. YouTube channel. If I'm sending my signal out to YouTube, I might want to have a chance to monitor it. I might have some videos that I want to play, open. In this case, this is my YouTube channel for work. All the different things that I put together for what some of my Twitch streams and that type of stuff. But if I was streaming live, oh, there's my last one. Yeah, that was me showing you where I'm at on the globe. Your live stream would be going here, and you could monitor it to make sure you've got your audio, make sure that YouTube is actually working. So this is another tab. This was one of the last ones I almost forgot. So here you go. Here's that one. Let's see, text documents. Now I'm down to just a few last things, and text documents, I like working with these a lot because you don't have to deal with all of that, the formatting issues that you have when you have Windows documents open. You got different fonts that you're dealing with. If I'm just following text or I just need to read something, a text document, fantastic way to compose some things. Like if you're going to compose something in the chat, you can compose it here, cut and paste, and away you go. You're not necessarily composing directly in the chat. You can, pull it here and send it back. So that is, wow, that was a quick half an hour, really quick half an hour, just talking through, a lot of these things that I'm going to be using or would be using. So text document. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go ahead and close this one. This is something that I've been thinking about as far as when you're preparing this, you're getting your stream going, whether you're brand new, whether you've been doing it forever, there's always something that can go wrong. There's always a glitch, but we've been saying for a while, it's not about perfection at all. It's about the connection that's going on between me and the audience and, the hosts and the co-hosts. So, perfection is impossible. It's impossible. And let's see if I can just get that a little bit bigger. Yeah, there you go. You can see that. And even though it's about the connection, I've been starting to think it's not even about the connection. We're always connected in some way, whether it's directly through the computer, our phone, or just even thinking about, the friends and the people that we're trying to see with the computer. We're connected to them. But some people aren't going to be able to see, maybe they have their camera off, maybe they don't have, they don't have the same vision ability that other folks have. Some people aren't going to be able to hear. Some people aren't going to be able to type. Some people don't have a computer, they just have a phone. Maybe they don't have a phone. Maybe they don't have friends to tell them what's happening. Maybe they don't have a moderator with them, to tell them that, hey, there's a bunch of people in the chat. I can't hear you. Any number of things. But they more likely have at least one of those things. So for the connection piece of it, it really is a matter of degree, right? If I have my video off but my audio on, I'm still connected. So when it comes to a Zoom meeting, if you're logged into that meeting, you are connected, right? The host may not be able to see you, but that person is there. Their intent is to be there. So that's just something I've been thinking about as far as some of the, the changes in philosophies that we've been going through since the beginning of quarantine. If you, in an in-person meeting, if you couldn't see or hear somebody, if they weren't in the room, you would, consider them not necessarily to be, connected to what's going on. So, I don't know, a little bit of philosophy. I don't know if it makes any sense or not, but just something I think about. So let's see, big scene list again. I'll go back to this. So this is just the order of events, and then we saw where all of these different pieces are going to, could potentially have a document or a window associated with it. So your videos, your photo slides, scripts for whoever's working. So this is, in many ways, a summary of a lot of the stuff I've already gone through. So hopefully, you can see how this ties in and summarizes all of that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and close that because that's another thing we can get rid of. Now we have just some basic screen real estate. My video up here in the top, that is my Twitch overlay. That's not, I can't actually see that on my screen. I can see it on my Stream Manager, but I can't see it over here. And then the chat, which nobody said anything yet, so that's fine. All right, let's see, what else do we have open? Okay, I've got my Twitch Stream Manager open, and I've got the document that I'm using, and I think I've gone through the majority of that. We talked about all sorts of stuff, and if you've got all this stuff put together, you're ready to go live, right? You've done your planning, you've done your practicing. Joe says hi. I'm gonna bring you in here in a second, Joe. Can you hear me? Does my audio sound good? Let me know about that. That's something that I kind of have a tendency to lean in and get a little loud, so I don't know if the audio gets a little spiky or not. Oh, okay, cool, great. So, are you ready? I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring up this meeting, this Zoom meeting, and see if we can't get an actual, audience member, somebody who's actually going to watch whatever it is I happen to be doing.
And today that just happens to be me. So, let me go ahead and activate my camera. Hi everybody, this is me. I was just sort of following along with myself, watching. It was a pre-recorded video that I did back in the beginning of, or middle of November. My name is Michael, and I'm streaming 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, from way up here in the Pacific Northwest of the great United States, Washington State. I'm in Olympia, Washington. I've been streaming since the beginning of quarantine, and I jumped on with my church to get their services, Sunday services, online. And I've been going every week with them since, and I've been working with streamers of every size, just movie nights with a few friends all the way up to our services, which with a couple of hundred people. And I've even been on, worked a couple that were with a couple of thousand people, and different set of considerations for each one, but the basics are kind of the same. Video, audio, settings are important. You're going to have your chat. Chat is a great way to funnel that audience participation. I always encourage incorporating the chat. Today I was just kind of demonstrating my use of a video player, my VLC. It's an open source video media player, and you can do all sorts of things with it. You can make playlists with it. You can play directly from a URL. You can embed it in all sorts of things. It's got a wonderful little simple user interface that I really like. And so that's what I was demonstrating, but more so I was doing a review of a video that I did. I haven't posted it yet, but it looked pretty good. There was a second part to that where I opened up Zoom, and so I decided to stop that part right now. I'll be posting that later if you want to watch the rest of it. I hope you gained a little bit of something out of that video, and maybe something out of this live feed, which is sort of an overlay of each other, which kind of gets confusing. And I was sort of moderating my own stream. So if that doesn't confuse you, then you're doing better than I am, because it confuses me sometimes. And there's a lot to keep track of, and so that's what I'm trying to get out here and do. Show everybody, the tools that I use, and then some of the considerations that I go through when I'm helping out with a live stream or an event, or even just movie nights with my friends. So Christmas Eve out here, and I hope that you're having a magical holiday. We've got some snow coming to the Pacific Northwest, which is very strange for us. We don't have very many snow days often, and we definitely don't have them on Christmas for the most part. I think I read that there were like 9 white Christmases in the last, 100 years or something. So this is going to be a treat for us. I know that I grew up in Michigan, so I was used to the cold and the snow, and so I enjoy living out here. We can drive up to the snow in the mountains, but this is going to be a treat to have it kind of down here at sea level. I know that this Omicron thing is getting pretty ramped up, and we've got another surge. And so if you are out there, on this holiday, please be safe. Please wear your mask. If you haven't gotten vaccinated and you're eligible for it, please get your vaccinations. If you're waiting to get your booster, please go get your booster. We need to do this. It's good for you. It's good for your friends. It's good for your family. It's good for your neighbors. It's good for the entire world. We need to get ahead of this and get back to something that was a bit, more in person. I enjoy that, but it doesn't look like that's something that's going to be happening this year, this holiday season. So if you can, please stay safe, stay home, stay online, interact with your friends. If you are a streamer out there today, I know that you've got a busy day ahead of you, so respect to you, big respect to everybody out there working today. But you're bringing something good. I hope you're, bringing your good voice, your good message out there, and sharing with people. So I'm gonna leave it there for right now. I've got a couple of streams to go do this evening for my church. We're gonna put out some Christmas Eve services, and hopefully we can get everybody out online to see them, and I'm hoping that that's the way it's going to go. We're going to have everybody safe and online. That would be a good thing. So I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a great holiday. I'll be back on Monday the, let's see, 27th, 27th, and I still don't have a topic for there yet. I'm kind of bad at advertising what it is I'm working on, because I generally put my stuff out there for future people, because I don't have a huge number of live viewers right now. So I'm still kind of getting my stream settled and organized, and so but I will be better at advertising what I'm going to be getting to when I get to it. So again, my name is Michael Kyer. You can catch my everything I do is on my YouTube archive, and you can always get there from my website, michaelkyer.net, MichaelKyer.net, and you can see a bunch of the things I showcase there, and links to everything else I'm doing. So I hope you have a good holiday. I'm going to let it go, and I